Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. Are we up and running here? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's get organized where we need to target on here. Target 7. Okay, there we go. Paper is out, thank you. Thank you, paper is out, paper is out. Paper is out. Sushi. Okay, here we are, back again. You know what I'm doing? Just working on the same thing I did. I know. Something I promised I would bring today. I dug out from the collection the print that this is based on. Let's have a look and find it. Here it is. And yeah, I was right, it was Kiyonaga. I thought the way those kids were drawn looked like Kiyonaga, and that's it. It is Kiyonaga. Here's the, zoom out a little bit. Here's the, this is not the original. The original would have been a large Oban size print. This is the one I've got. It's one of those small, I think it's Takamizawa. This one is small, beautiful woodblock prints. So I've just taken the one piece of it. You see the boys at the bottom. I've clipped out the boys at the bottom. And actually I was right in my guess. This boy's collar isn't on the black block. It's on the color block. So, and you can see now part of this, these little patches of color and stuff. You can see what they are now. They're little bits of color, which we'll take care of when we do the color blocks. So the kimono is going to be 3 colors, I guess. They've got what's called taski. We use these here at Mokuhankan at the print parties. Now and again, people come for a print party. They're wearing kimono. They've rented kimono from one of the shops outside, whatever. And kimono have long sleeves, and that really gets in the way when you're making one of these woodblock prints. Plus, also, we don't want pigment and color on the kimono. So there's a piece of string. It's a piece of cloth about 1.5 meters long. It's called a taski, and this boy is using it. He's tied it around the back of his neck, and it loops over your arms, and it pulls up the loose kimono from your hands and elbows. So there'd be 3 basic colors. There'd be the taski color, the kimono color, and the obi color, and then some kind of pattern. And the same thing over here. He's got the same thing. He's got taski around his neck, and then some underclothes. A little bit striped. I think we'll do that, but whatever. So there's our original. It's beautifully carved, at this size. It's way smaller than mine. I mean, look at this. Where's the bucket? I mean, I'm sitting here working with a microscope doing this. These guys just carved this stuff. They have no microscopes or nothing. They have a bit of a lens maybe, but no microscopes. It's astonishing work. Absolutely astonishing work. Just makes me look like a raw beginner. Anyway. Beautifully, beautifully done. What an absolute treasure. My God, what a treasure. Okay, enough talk, let's get to work. It's a bit of a puzzle sometimes as to where to start first. You've got a line like this, that bangs into another line. So we don't want to carve this first. We want to have this line carved out first. But it's sort of, I can't carve this one until this is carved. I can't carve this one until this is carved. Can't carve that until this is carved. Can't carve that until this is carved. You sort of work your way back. And there's the borderline. That's his arm. And that's the borderline for all these kimono lines. So clearly I should cut this one first. Someone's trying to peek in the door. And now that that arm is cut, we can cut the other lines that attach to it. For example, this one here. Right? This is free now to cut right through to the end. Today's Friday, and I'm not quite sure how the staff is going to go here. Kawai-san, the young man you see sometimes here in the mornings, he's down with the flute. So he's booked off for today and presumably through over the weekend. So looks like I myself will be doing a lot of parties over the next few days. And today's okay. It's Koizumi-san and Teiko-san. They're scheduled to come today. The Kawai-san was going to print upstairs today, but he's booked off. We got lots done yesterday. It was very, very quiet in the shop. The quietest sales day we've had in at least a year. Very few customers. People, it's just so cold out there. Bitterly, bitterly cold out there. We still had 2 parties. People have made party reservations in advance, not knowing what the weather's going to be like. And this last few weeks, it's been mostly Australians. It's their peak of summer, and they get here, and we all have the same conversation. You know, they're on their summer holidays, so they're cold here, but they're not complaining because it's really hot, like 40 degrees or whatever, where they come from in Australia. So that's the most. We don't get too many Europeans right now, but it's Australians. That's the main visitors this couple of weeks. They're on their summer vacation. So we got lots of work done. What we did was we set up a new computer up on the 2nd floor next to Cameron in Cameron-san's room. He'll probably chat about it when he gets here this morning. And the new part-time lady who's working for us, Kira-san, she spent most of the day scanning prints from our shop to go into the flea market. So there's lots of new stuff on the flea market already, starting yesterday and continuing more over the next few days. So she will be really helping us to expand our online presence, get more prints online. The paper is out of the fridge. Thanks for reminding me. There's only one package out today. It's just on the Suga-san's papers coming out today. She's printing the second print in the JJ series, the Japan Journey series. So. Early February is the best time. I can't say that. If the goal is the least amount of tourists, then absolutely late January, early February is the best time to visit Japan. There's nobody here in town. Up on the ski slopes, it's different. Of course, there are visitors here for skiing at this season, so the ski slopes might be crowded. I don't know about that. But here in town, if you're visiting urban areas or temples or whatever, January, February it's deserted. There's nobody around. You can be by yourself. The airlines are cheap, the hotels are cheap. The downside, of course, is it can be bitterly, bitterly, bitterly cold here. So if you're cool with that, it's okay. It's a very nice time to visit. Classic temperature-wise, the best time to visit is, of course, in the springtime and in the autumn, when it's not too hot, not too cold. But it's you and 10 million other people. No, you and 30 million other people. I didn't catch it. Is that for today? Let me have a look. Just a minute. No, a couple of weeks away. Oh, two of them altogether. Bang, bang. Look at that. Interesting. 8:08. Party reservation for the 3rd of February, 1 o'clock. 8:08. Party reservation for 3rd of February. Different person. Same session. Wow, that's interesting. That could have really been a conflict. The same party reserved by different people from different parts of the world. Group of 1, group of 2, so it's okay. Traveling together is possible, but the reservation came in on the same minute. Working from two computers side by side. There's a problem there, if the reservation page says room for 2 people left, and if 2 people side by side access the page, they're both going to see the same thing that says room for 2 people left. And if they both then send in the reservation, the software here will take both of them, because that's what it said in their browser window. So. Interesting. What they were doing there. Let's see. Yeah, the party reservation music. Did I just broadcast some copyright music illegally on Twitch? I don't know. place like this where the color block has a darker tone makes the key lines difficult to see when we're doing this reproduction. I don't know if you can see it, but the black lines are visible there, just barely. There's another line on the outside, a line here, a line there, of course. So all the color I'm chopping away here, this will be reproduced again later on the color block. There's a pattern that's disappearing here, but that'll be redrawn when it comes time to make the color block for this print. And it's nice wood, you know, I said the same thing every day. It's clean, clear wood, just slices so nicely here. Such a happy feeling. My mum's at his phone again. Gotta go, hello. I haven't Skyped with my mother for a week or so. Haven't spoken to her for quite a while. I did get one note from one of my daughters. They were over there visiting. I was half expecting maybe I'd get a Skype call while one of my daughters was visiting grandma there, so, but that didn't happen. So. I'll be over there in a few weeks, heading for Vancouver on February 12th, so it's a little over 2 weeks away. I'll be going over there. And there will be a big gap in our streams here. For 10 days I'll be over in Canada, so there won't be any normal working streams during that time. I'll be off from February 12th to, I think it's the 22nd or 23rd, I'm not quite sure. Depends on the date line. So you guys have to find some other hit, something else to watch for a couple of weeks. Now, same as before I said, all these lines terminate here, so I can't carve some of these. I can't carve this one, it bumps into that. So if we make our separation here, perhaps we can then carve this group out. So let's cut this one. We'll stop a bit short. We'll stop a bit short of bumping into this one. Questions. Hey, what have we got here? The hairs on the brush. You mean this one here? Yeah. This is no big. I'm more. The challenge here is going to be the hairs on the head. The hairs on the brush. These are no big deal. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 of them. It's the head. There's hair all the way along here. That's going to be a bit more of a challenge. And it's going to be a challenge to print because we can cut little tiny hairs easily. And I've got to cut the teeth. This is the big piece right there. That's the part that's going to be tough for this one. And then printing it dark black here but not mucking up the face. That's going to be the challenge. I'm going to save that for the end. They've got lips, a tongue, a hole in the nose. The eyes are open. That's going to be the killer here. That brush is nothing. I'm going to spend days and days and days practicing on these kimono lines before I try and attempt that face. Oh, somebody's going upstairs. Must be Suga-san. Her paper is out. the last couple of days, there's been there's been a bunch of auction stuff going on here. I bid on a few auctions the last few days, and very happy to be able to win some interesting stuff. Interesting to me, but of completely no interest to people watching this stream. I know, we've been, of course, searching for woodblock prints and stuff like this all the time on auctions here. And even the print I'm carving now is from a copy that I got, on an auction. But the auctions of the last few days that I've been bidding on, I stayed up late last night and I won a big box of stuff. It's about 30 kilograms, not woodblock prints at all. It's books, kids, illustrated books. I have a new granddaughter, new meaning born last spring. My second daughter had her first child last spring, so it's my third grandchild. And she was visiting here a couple of months ago. It was in November, I guess, October, November. And while she was visiting here, we were chatting about what the plan is for the kids, the grandchildren, for language and stuff like that. And of course, they're growing up in Canada, so the kids speaking English, going to go to school in Canada, stuff like that. But my daughter wants them to have lots of, as much as possible, get some good Japanese experience. So the request came a few days ago from my younger daughter. She said, "Dad, please get some books. Get some kids' books, some children's books for the granddaughter." And it turns out that with Japan depopulating these days, the population going down. I don't know about very few people having babies, but the number of women having babies is extremely crashing. And it means stuff like you want to get kids' toys, boxes of Lego or kids' books or whatever. They're everywhere. It's just stuff that's totally devalued. So you can get on the auction and get a box of assortment of children's books, 100 volumes, like $20 or something, So I've been collecting a bunch of these things and looking at the auction. So I've got now a few hundred books ready to take to her. That was the easy part. The hard part is, of course, that they're heavy, so I've got to really figure out my baggage allowance for this next trip, and I may have to pay some excess baggage, but it's worth it. The stuff is so cheap. So that's what I'll be carrying. I'll be smuggling books into Canada. Used books, could be heavy duty on those? I don't think so. I don't know. Check first before I go on this. The garbage pickup is very, very, very late today. That normally happens just a few minutes after 8 o'clock, right? When I cut out the white spots in the hair, there's just two really. It's where the kids, I don't know, let me Go back to the original, you can see what it is. It's where their hair is tied back. I know it's difficult to explain. So yeah, I'll be cutting back. I'll be cutting that line on the white area, but what you see is white spots in here. No, this is supposed to be printed in smooth black. You can see how it works. I guess the hair is tied up on top of their head. Far and away the hardest part is going to be the lips, absolutely, the lips. The shipping, I will ship my stuff to the airport from here. I never carry things to the airport, so I'll prepare these book packages ready for dropping to the airline, and then I'll ship them to the airport from here. I won't carry anything. As far as shipping to Canada goes, the downside of that is if something is shipped to Canada, then it gets stopped at the other end by Canadian import customs. And I have no idea what kind of valuation or handling charges or things apply there. The experience has not been good working with Canada Post and Canada Customs. So I'm thinking, I haven't explored it, but I'm thinking that the best thing to do is just use my baggage allowance. I'm allowed 23 kilograms twice. And normally I don't even use it. I normally just take a little backpack with a couple of shirts and shorts. So I normally travel basically almost empty-handed. So this time I'll be able to prepare 2 boxes, 23 kilograms each, and use those from my baggage allowance. So it should be okay. 50 kilograms of books should be enough to keep her happy for a day or two. What time is it? 8:45. Yes, sir, it is. He's got his hoodie on. We should have a guess at the temperature, whether Cameron's got his hood up or hood down or whatever goes on each one.
Chilly again.
Get your same comic book with your finger in the same page.
Yep. I just
Slow
carried
reader.
in for show.
Just a slow reader.
1 page a day.
Do you get to sit down on the train much, or is it touch and go?
If I take the local trains, it takes like almost 15 minutes longer, but then I get to sit the whole way. But if I take the faster trains, then usually they're crowded, so I stand up.
Oh, you're at Moria, so you get both choices. Yeah. So that's lucky.
Yeah.
It's okay. So you make your decision on what to do, whether sit and read. I'd actually do the slow. Just leave home 50 minutes earlier and sit and relax. So.
Some days I do.
Well, you bike to the station? Mm-hmm. Bike as in bicycle.
Yeah. We actually moved a couple weekends ago, so we're slightly closer than we were.
So that's right. That's all the paperwork's done now, is it?
Finally.
We were chatting about that the other day. The day you were off at City Hall, doing that stuff like Where's Cameron? So I was explaining how it is, and the conversation was going back and forth. How bad is bureaucracy in Japan and stuff like that. And it's really okay. A trip to City Hall to do that kind of registration is not one of these oh my god things. It's just it's a chore. You got to go and do it.
It's a chore, yeah.
But it's not. I mean, there's no abusive people. There's
No, and it's nice. They're just not really fast either. I think I spent 4 hours between the two city halls because I have to file paperwork saying I'm leaving the city.
But it's not. It's not abusive. It's not expensive. You don't have to pay anybody off.
Yeah,
it's just simply you have to go through, put the paper here, put the paper there.
Yeah.
And this isn't one of those countries where like there's 6 lineups. You get to the back of one line. You wait till 2 hours to get to the front line. She says, no, go to the next line. No, they don't do it this way. People, they really take care of customer relations or whatever. It's the other way around, actually. In general, people here, some class of people are more abusive to the clerks there than the other way around. Any abuse happening is the other way around for sure. Because they just have to sit there and take it. They can't fight back. And that's a bit sad to me sometimes. I've seen the situation where some old dude is yelling and screaming at the poor girl behind the window and she can't fight back. So.
That's too bad.
Just progressing along here through this thing, step by step by step.
So the nice smooth lines you said.
Yeah, it's still pleasant, still good fun. I'm dreading getting to the mouth, but we'll postpone that as long as possible. The conversation has been light conversation, nothing specific here. Shipping stuff. Talking about shipping my books to
family in Canada.
Yeah. Well, you're asking again about the Zoom. I know. Do we have a ruler here? There's just people asking about the Zoom. I know. What I'm seeing when I look down through this thing, I can see. Here's this scale. I can see 5 centimeters here. I'm seeing from this to the 5. Should I put it maybe in this center? Well, it is in the center. Yeah. I'm seeing a circle based on the end of that tape up to where it says 5. So that's what I'm seeing. I sit here looking back through it, and it looks the same as like a dinner plate to me. I'm looking at an area like a sort of small plate, not a dinner plate, but a small plate, and that's the 5 centimeters I see here. So I guess it's about twice as big as real life. It's really hard to say these things. If I was looking there, the plate looks about this big. Here it is. So it's about 2x, I guess, whatever. So we move this around. You can look at the chat and see what's going on. We borked it yesterday. Not we. I borked it yesterday when I was trying to rotate it. So let's try again. I'll try not to. Here. We're gonna rotate the computer here so Cameron can read the chat and type and whatever. It may crash because we have a Mac, so that the plug-in is not what it should be. Could be. Here we go. Take my life in my hands. I do believe.
I think we survived this time. This
Drop
didn't change colors.
Zero, no, drop frame 0. So this is a bit closer to me than I would like. Okay, over you go. Take care of the chat. Thank you, sir. This is the print.
Oh, okay.
I know that we're reproducing here.
Great.
A piece of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I need to remind you, go get this print from upstairs.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep.
Anytime. It works on your bonus real well.
I just got it. Oh, it is Kiyonaga.
Yeah, it
Did
is,
you already
yeah.
talk about that? Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah.
I do know a little bit about this stuff.
Yes, you did.
Also, before I forget, I did get some work done last night. You know, I totally, pretty much, you saw me, I wasted the day yesterday, sort of staggering around, trying to decide what to do, doing a little bit, not doing much of anything, you know. These days when there's no customers in the shop, I waste more time than I do on the days when it's energetic and running back and forth. You know, so. But I did, after we shut down here, I went and had a quiet dinner. Then Williams has been trying to sort of get my workspace organized out there. He's got a bench and a table. So I sat there and I got some work done.
All right.
So there's a new module in the software.
Oh, great. What did you add?
We've had real trouble with the prices in pounds and euros because as the exchange rate changes up and down, we have to decide what to do with the web shop and to go to this item and that item and this item and that item, and then it just goes back the other day.
Yeah.
So I wrote a module that will run through the whole catalog, and it will update the pounds and euros prices with the current exchange rate that we're running. And you could actually, if you want, you can run it every morning. We'll have to talk about how to use this.
Okay.
And do we want customers who come back and browse and come back in a couple of days? Should the prices be changing every day, or should they be not changing every day? Should we have our own schedule about if they've changed more than 10%, we have to raise the prices on the website and stuff like that? I'm not sure. Maybe a bit of feedback from the people watching here. What we've done is when we set our prices of the prints that we make, and I'm speaking here at the moment of the prints that we produce here in-house, not the subscription prints, because that's a set price for the year, and not the Ukiyo Heroes prints, that's worked out through Jet. I'm talking about the prints that we make ourselves and sell in the shop. And we have a cost. We know what they cost us, we know how much we spend on our printers, and next. So we work out a base price in yen. That print we can put on the market for, say, 6,000 yen. And in the early years of my being online, all the prices on my website were always in yen. I was thinking, hey, this is a Japanese place. We make these, we cost them in yen, blah, blah, blah. It turned out that the downside of that is when people overseas shopping on the internet see prices in yen, one, they don't internalize, they don't have a feeling for how much it is, and they look much more expensive because there's so many zeros.
Indeed.
So and I get it, of course, too. Me too, if I look at a website in,
Korean won.
Whatever,
it's another zero.
Exactly, whatever it is. So at some point along the line, this is 15 years ago or so, I decided to put the prices on the website in dollars. Just, I couldn't do it in every currency, but I did it in dollars, thinking that was where most of our potential customers were, and it made sense, because even people who don't live in America, they have a pretty good grasp, or some kind of grasp about what a dollar is worth.
Right.
So long story short, I switched to dollars on the website. But the question then became, how often do I change it? Because the yen dollar goes up, down all the time.
Yeah.
So I set the prices in dollars based on what seemed reasonable at the time, and then I didn't float them every day. I just left them as they were, unless there was a major change over a period of a few months.
Yeah. And
I went back and clicked them one by one up to what I thought was a sensible new price. I came along a year or so ago. Remember, I built a module that allowed customers to use
3 different
currencies, pounds and euros for the convenience of our. And we tied those, and this is a key point, we tied those to the US dollar price on the website rather than the yen price. And the problem now has been, of course, the US dollar does different things with different currencies. It's not all of those things going in lockstep.
Right.
So the module I made last night allows you or I to sit down, and when you pull it up, it shows you what the current status is on the exchange rates. And it's 2 buttons. Do you want to adjust the euro pound prices to match the dollar prices that are on the website, or match the internal yen prices? And at the moment it goes both ways, and I'm still not quite sure how we should do that, and also how often we should do this. And what we could ask the people watching is, when you're visiting a website, a shopping website, do you expect the prices always to be stable? If they start to change every day you go back there, is it strange? Is it acceptable? Is it normal? How stable should prices be on a website? Especially, international shopping website.
Even Amazon US shopping in the U.S., prices go up and down quite a bit.
I mean, every time you go back to the website, it's a different number, you mean?
Yeah, usually within $1 or two, unless there's a special sale or they go down or run low on stock. Then sometimes they raise the price. But I think they.
And how stable do
quite a
people
bit.
expect prices to be? I don't know. Yeah.
Not trying to compare us to Amazon. We're not. We're not Amazon.
No, but I want a stable experience
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
people. Stable.
Korean says, I'd expect the prices to be stable in the local currency of the shop. Jed says, some sites do dynamic pricing based on how much you visit. That's always frustrating. Yeah, someone else said they change prices based on user profile too.
Oh, I would never do that.
No, that's...
Of course. We don't have the technological ability to do that. I wouldn't do that philosophically.
Yeah.
You know, oh, hey, this guy's a whale. He's been buying lots of stuff from us. Let's put the price up.
Crank everything up 10%.
No, of course not. All this conversation is simply in generic. What should it be for everybody, of course?
Yeah.
Well, that goes without saying, I hope, you know.
Yeah.
We're not talking about dynamic pricing here. We're talking about how stable currency fluctuations happen daily. Should I change my prices daily? I don't know.
Ken from USA, but not Ken Hallett, says, I would understand that the yen price would be stable and the other currency prices would be set on the purchase date. Someone else says, I'd avoid weird numbers like $12.73 instead $12.99, but that's something you already
That's what, I got it last night too.
So it rounds to the nearest quarter of a dollar?
A pretty print module. It depends on what level you're at. Okay. If you're, I forget the exact ratio I built in last night. If it's below 100 yen, we don't have any. It doesn't do anything. If it's between, for example, $1 and $10, it rounds to the nearest 25 cents. Speaking in international terms. So nothing would be 11.47. It would be 11.50. There's no 11.95s. It just goes to 12 because I don't like the 95 or 99 stuff. It's a bit of a come on reason. So and then over that it starts to round to the nearest dollar, and then over like $300 it rounds to the nearest $5. Stuff like that. So it's a sliding scale.
Yeah.
So there are no funny little $11.73 prices going to be on the website. But having said that, that is an easy way for people to understand that what they're seeing is a translated price.
Yeah.
If you do leave it in the funny little random numbers, then it makes it more clear to the people. And then if they come back the next day, if it's 11.73 one day, and the next day it's 11.91, and the next day it's 11.62, then they do get the idea that this is converted. So there's a, both ways sort of mentally works. You know? At the moment, it's prettified to that set of rules I mentioned, based on what level of expense there is.
Mudabori Ningen says, I used to work for a website builder, Squarespace. They settled on stable prices across currencies, $12 US, $10 euro, and basically took a guess at an expected exchange rate, rounded it up a bit, and decided people like stability, so they'd eat the difference.
Right. Okay, but that assumes a fairly stable currency base. You said $12 US, $10 euro. That's a huge roundup, and they're not, with Mr. Trump doing what he's doing and tweeting what he's doing, currencies really are sometimes a bit volatile. So I get the idea, and I would like that. That's what we've been doing with our U.S. prices. Our U.S. prices are not matched to the yen price. You and I go through and set them. Yeah. And at the moment, some of them, the value, the postcard size prints on the website are 3,000 Japanese yen, and we just set it at $30. That whole gift print last year was set at $30. But honestly speaking, if they went to the Japanese website and bought it for 3,000 yen and knew how to pay in yen, that would be a little bit cheaper for the consumers.
What would happen to running subscriptions if the dollar took a nosedive tomorrow? This happened a few years ago, right?
Yeah, it happened to me this year again also. I set the prices in December and the dollar changed dramatically in the first few weeks of January. And our customers don't worry about it. It's price protected. It says on the website, and we will stand by this. This is not part of today's discussion. All subscriptions are price protected for the duration of that subscription in the currency that you clicked on and asked for when you started to subscribe. We take our lumps or we take our extra profit, and it almost never works out extra profit, but whatever. So this conversation has nothing to do with subscription prices. We do change the subscription prices. For example, if the dollar went crazy tomorrow, we would go to the website and change the price for new subscribers coming in.
But if you've already signed up, we're not going to change your
No,
price on
it's
you.
price protected. It's clearly marked on the website. There's a button that says so, and it pops up and confirms it. The first portrait series, I lost a fortune on that one. My God, I lost a fortune on that one. Kept the printers busy though.
Yeah.
Didn't lose a fortune. I mean, we didn't make a normal margin. I don't know if you saw yesterday, Kira-chan, she worked upstairs next to you there for a while with a computer. And when she came down, and I went through the stuff with her, and we opened them up, and she put another dozen or so prints into the flea market. So it's actually working now. She's got it up and running. She knows what to do.
Great.
I know the next step, we need better photographs. She can do the scanning part of it, but that's not enough. We need some good photographs of each print. Angled light.
She did take a couple, but I don't know if you've seen them.
They were not
they didn't work.
She doesn't get the light. And actually, we were too late in the afternoon anyway. There was no light through that window by that time. So
that makes sense. Okay.
they were, she did what I asked her to do, but we didn't spend enough time on it. We need some photographs that just show texture.
Yeah.
And none of the photographs she took showed that. But we were working at a disadvantage because it was the wrong time of day. So.
Yeah.
So she'll get it, no problem. She's okay. Actually, I should be careful what I say. She sometimes, I think, listens to these streams.
Yeah.
She said the other day.
Yeah, she said she watches. So.
Oops. Have I said anything wrong? I don't think so.
I actually saw her working so much with the flea market. I took a picture of her working on it. So for our flea market Friday, I'm gonna say we don't have a specific item this time, but we have someone new bringing lots of new items onto the flea market.
All right.
So
good. Also, too, I've got to do something for Facebook. Cameron, I mentioned it.
Yes.
It's been nearly a month since I made a Facebook post. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I think I can use that photo and write something quick about her joining us and helping out with flea market too. Noticed you were talking about coding earlier. What programming languages do you use?
The coding last night was just this is web face, so this is PHP. I don't know, just standard PHP, HTML5, CSS. This is not dramatic programming. This is do you call that programming when you're building a PHP dynamic web page? I don't know. I guess it counts as programming. I'm not really sure. Nothing. Nothing high. It's high level, but I mean nothing dramatic.
Yeah.
Just standard stuff. We have a management system here, and we're transitioning from an old management system that I wrote for the business, which ran on the Macs, and it was using the Mac equivalent of what they call in the Windows world Visual Basic. It's sort of anybody can just put together bits of code to make something work.
So PHP counts as suffering.
I don't think so. I'm sorry. If I was trying to build a system that would send a rocket to the moon or something, you got some problems. Yeah. But this is not that level of complexity, We're talking about running our catalog and dynamically writing web pages. And that's, to me, a very nice language for that.
They disagree.
Well, okay, I'm not a professional. again, at the level, I'm not a pro. At the level, I don't work on this 12 hours a day. I work on it on a casual basis. And I need software that will do the things that I can imagine, and it will do them, logically and sensibly. And it may not be the most optimal way to write the algorithm, but it works for me as a casual coder. And it's also something that it means that when somebody else comes in and looks at what I've done, they can understand it. It's not an obscure thing. It's not written at a very low level that needs a lot of explanation.
Right.
So it suits the casual level that I'm a programmer. I'm not a professional computer scientist here.
surely better than using punched cards.
Been there, done that. So what can I say? You know, I don't know. I mean, the days of writing assembly, which that's where I came from. You know,
Yeah.
so to me, something like this very simple, easy to use stuff that we have now, it's just a godsend. You know, you can knock together a module for the website and put it up and running, and it's right there. And the backend that runs on is strong and secure. You know, I don't have to worry too much about security as long as I stick to the common sense rules of those things. You know. And the very, very easy integration of data structures with database, which is a godsend for me. You know. The earliest programming I did when I was a kid, there were no databases. You had to, you know, and now to have that in the back that I can just store stuff and pull it back and store it and pull it back. And,
Yeah.
well, that's just a godsend. You know. So I don't know, somebody there, whoever your person commenting, PHP's a bucket of hurt or something, whatever. I'm sure in some environments it may be, but for me, not at all. You know.
Augustine Becker, the last known god.
I thought he was working mostly in Python, he said, when we were talking. I guess it depends what job is on.
Some days I would rather use smoke signals than PHP.
Okay, but can you mention why then? What's the reason?
What's the worst
Because
part?
to me it
Yeah.
sounds clean and simple and logical.
Yeah.
There's always any number of ways to write it. There's the whole different, you know, you can write the same thing 6 different ways, upside down and backwards. What's the hurt? What's the what am I missing here? What am I not digging deep enough to understand here?
Yeah.
I do get myself in trouble with it sometimes because of the way that you can set yourself up a data thing, variable, and you think it's a string, and yet some other point it gets manipulated as an integer or something, and PHP actually allows this to happen. You don't have to. So sometimes you get in trouble with this. You know, some other language, is that a string, the digit, the physical character 2, or is that the value 2, and stuff like this. And it turns out with PHP, and this blew me away when I first saw it, you don't have to worry about that. It just decides, I think that's going to be treated as a string in this case, and you can put it into a formula, and it'll treat it as a number and stuff like that.
Interesting.
So I think you could really get in trouble with that.
Yeah.
You could really get in trouble. So maybe that's what he's talking about. That if you're careless with data typing and stuff like that, you can really get yourself in a knot. And for me, it's okay. In fact, that happened last night. The prices we're storing here, we store them as integers,
Right.
and we store everything as pennies because of the Japanese yen structure. So a 10,000 yen item might be, say, $100 in US, but we store it as 10,000 yen, and we store it as 10,000 pennies.
Right.
And then the same thing in euros and pounds, because they all have 2 decimal places.
Yeah.
in the deck. So I store everything as pennies, as integer items. And then when we manipulate them, they have to be shown on the website, of course, as a string or whatever.
Right.
So, and it turns out you don't have to worry, you just dump it out there, and PHP says, okay, if that's what you want, I'll go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what he's getting at. And when you're sending a rendezvous to Mars or something, it's a bit more important.
To make sure you have the right data.
Yeah, whatever. So if that's what he means, it's easy to get in trouble, then I can buy that, because it is.
So far, it's just that he does a lot of systems engineering, and Python is very typical in his particular field. And I've been doing security updates for PHP for the last 2 weeks now. I'm still not finished. It's just a minor version update, but PHP is being PHP and not cooperating. I don't know.
But again, I'm not sure. I don't understand that because I'm not working at that level. So I'll believe what he says. I'm not there. That's fine. I'm an amateur. And at my level, it works real nice.
Yeah.
In the earlier time with it, if we go back, whatever, 15x years, I did get in trouble with it because, well, we all did, because we wrote simple little scripts to allow data entry on our website. And they were, of course, vectors for easy hacking. And none of us knew about that at the time, or it wasn't happening at the time. So I'll confess to this. I had some real bad scripts on my website back in the early days. And it's not just me. It's me and everybody else on the internet, you know. So I think we've caught all of them and cleaned it all up and got it out of the back end. But that's an easy way to get in trouble. I agree there.
says, yeah, our website is a lot bigger than Mokuhankan, so definitely more complicated. Yeah. And that's okay.
I'm just happy to be in a position where we have tools like that, where we can do something like it ourselves. We don't have to hire outside crews to run our website. You and I can do this, run a business.
Mostly.
Whatever. I mean, it's still, there it is. You know, we built a website, orders are pouring in, and we did it ourselves. You know? We don't have to go to IBM and all this stuff. You know? And having tools like that language and the interface at the back, the data storage at the back end, makes it possible. I mean, you saw that. You know, I changed when I wrote the new subscription module 3 or 4 weeks ago, just before we went online with JJ. And bang, over the next few days, floods and floods and floods of orders. So
Wow. Yeah, the waiting list continues to grow.
I was in a good mood. Please don't bring that.
No, that's a good thing.
How many waiting lists we have?
Yeah.
We got the Great Wave waiting list, the Journeys waiting list. We got waiting list for the Octopus.
Yes, yeah, this is getting long too. They're all growing. Have you heard anything from Yamamoto-san about?
No, I don't bug him at all. He's at the moment doing a Great Wave group.
Okay.
It should be, actually it'll probably be sometime soon, and I've got the next job sort of specified for him. I was going to have him do the Octopus, but based on the test printing I did the other day, I'm going to have to carve a new hair block for it.
Right.
And over and above that, I have sort of a philosophical decision what to do about it, because I'm not happy with the way it looks. It's so clean and so nice, and so it's just the wrong approach for that print. So I'm going to do some more test printing myself, maybe next Tuesday, with some more different kinds of paper and printing them with a different approach.
How long is the Great Wave waiting list, by the way? I'm not sure on number of people, but the average waiting time lately has been 3 to 4 months for people.
Isn't that all?
Yep.
So a great number of people then who do put the name in don't actually order it when you do send them the letter, because there's 3 or 4 a day, 3 or 4 or 5 a day.
Yeah.
And that would mean a month is 150 a month or so.
Yeah. And
I see. So they put their name in, but when they get your email saying, "Hi, we're ready," they don't actually.
a lot of people have been skipping.
So we're losing a lot of business because of that. If we did have many more printers on staff and had a constant supply of that wave, those people who put their name on the waiting list would actually maybe made a purchase right there. It's just later on they've changed their minds. Wherever I can help it, it's okay. And I'm happy with that, you know, even if it's impulsive purchases. I don't want to live on impulse purchases, so it's okay.
Soon you're going to need one of those velvet ropes on the street to curb the waiting line of customers too. Did you tell them the story about how that rope and all the tape on the sidewalk is gone?
I don't remember what we mentioned. It's not all gone. They've retreated back to about 1/3 of the sidewalk space at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Is it 1/3 or 1/2?
so.
They've cut back. The chairs are gone. The tape on the sidewalk is gone. 30 City Hall let them know. The velvet ropes have been pulled back to about 1 meter, extending out from the building. So clearly they pushed way too far. They got slapped back. And I know what's going to happen now. They're going to quietly, bit by bit, creep out. This is the way these things work. You know, so.
We just got a note saying, "Welcome to the chat room." Did we leave the chat room? How would that happen? We didn't cut out or anything, but we just got a note saying, "Welcome to the chat room," as if we had logged out.
No idea. Did everybody get that? No idea.
Very odd. Well, it's the slow time of year. Wait until the spring crowds show up.
Oh, don't talk about spring. But I'm not using my... I was thinking about that last night. You saw me yesterday. I wasted a lot of time here, you know, just sort of a bit unfocused, trying to decide what to do. And I'm in two minds of that. I felt a bit guilty last night after I had dinner. That's why I said I came back and did some work. So I was feeling guilty about that. Then the other viewpoint of that is, Dave, this is the downtime. And I was going nuts. Literally nuts for the past half a year. Bang, 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 bang. And if at this time of year there's not so many customers, if it turns out I don't get quite so much done,
you can relax.
I don't think I have to feel so guilty about that. I mean, if this is the quote recharge time, getting ready again for the spring. So I'm of two minds about it. Oh my God, why aren't I working? Why aren't I working? I wasted all that time last night just sitting doing nothing. I don't know. Both things are true. I do need downtime, but also, my God, this is a chance to get some stuff done because I won't be able to have a chance to do that once the customers are here. So the two contradictory things are true. It's going to be here sooner than you think.
Ken from USA asks, is your blade still sharp?
I'm just getting it. I'm thinking it's about time to sharpen this. I was thinking to run it out today. We must be just about out today, right?
9:15, 16.
But it is. It's nothing I can physically show you. It's not broken. It's still there. The bevel is still on the back. It's still shiny on the front. But I'm sure if we had a really sub-microscopic view of it here, we would see that the edge is probably, more cratered and chipped. And I can feel it. When I'm in an area, it's just go up in the waist zone here. I can feel that the smoothness is gone. There's a bit of catch. Because I guess, again, at the microscopic level, it's probably not smooth anymore. It's cratered and chipped. And even though I can't see it, I can feel the difference. And the problem there is that when it's really sharp, it does slide smoothly, it slices. But now that it's a bit worn, it actually pulls and catches a bit more. And it's dangerous for me if I pull and catch and suddenly it goes bang. That's the biggest problem. So it's still sharp in the sense that it cuts sharp lines. I can still use it, I'm doing so, it's doing the job. But it's getting bit by bit more dangerous. So whether or not he had mentioned that, if I were still carving it myself for the rest of this day, right about now I would be going back to the stone for a touch up.
Your mother asked about Hokusai. Someone answered her, and then she said Knowledge Network's doing a series on him right now.
Well, everybody in the world who has any kind of museum or educational thing or anything to do with Japanese prints, of course, has jumped on the Hokusai bandwagon. So, absolutely. He is hot property. Very much hot property. So is that a TV program she's talking about? Knowledge Network? I don't know what that means.
It's not one I'm familiar with, but
Hokusai is hot property. In anywhere, any culture, any part of the world. He has literally become global, global name.
There's even, where was that? Those apartment buildings in Russia with the Great Wave on the side.
I posted that link. So, Japan is proud of that, that they have a person of like the name recognition like Michelangelo or Leonardo, and Hokusai has pretty clearly joined that group. The Japan of a few years ago was a bit embarrassed about that because he is not the kind of person they would have chosen for that status, because he's a print designer. But whatever, you get what you get. You don't always choose the things that happen to you. Elite Japan doesn't like this at all because he was a low-class print designer. He wasn't a high artist. But get what you go. I'm quite happy to be part of that bandwagon, This is nice work, peaceful work,
Do you miss listening to the little creek near your home while you carve?
Mostly it's music. I was really enjoying the music and stuff, you know. Most of my life, music has been a part of, you know, my life's soundtrack. I was making it for many years. I was a musician, actually.
Yeah.
And then in the
And your
years
father was a musician as well, right?
And then the years where I worked to learn different types of music was really a soundtrack to my world. You know? But since coming here to Asakusa and having this more public space, it's lost, you know. So I'm a bit sad about that.
Yeah.
But I do have to confess, having said that, that clearly in those years when I was working as a wood carver in Ome, you know, I played music all the time. But I also have to confess that I did sometimes treat it in a bad way, in that music would become a background noise.
Yeah.
You know, in my earlier years, when I was in my 20s and 30s and so, because I was a musician, I listened to stuff. I would not start listening to Brahms' Fourth unless I had a clear hour in which I could sit and do it. I wouldn't just put it on and do something else.
Right.
But in those years, I did, bit by bit by bit by bit, slip into that system of sitting on the bench, punching it on and get going. And stuff would just roll. And I got to be a bit disappointed with myself that I wasn't listening, you know, in quotation marks, listening to music, as opposed to just having it on as a soundtrack.
Right.
And because I had been a fairly sort of serious little boy musician, I was disgusted with myself for letting myself do that. But, you know, there are types of music that was created to do that. You know, Haydn string quartets, whatever. They were built to be background noise while people have dinner in not such and such a castle, you know. But other types of music was not designed to do this, you know. I felt, you know, I remember one specific episode when I was working for the Music Store. Bill and I, the owner, we went to a convention in Chicago. A year end every year, we went to the Midwest Band Directors Convention, where school music directors got together, blah, 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 blah. And we're in a bar one night, and this is Chicago. It's in the Blackstone Hotel, and there's a bar in the basement. And there's a jazz trio or something playing. And these guys were the hottest, most freaking unbelievable. This is 1972 or something. It's not modern jazz. It's classical standard jazz. And just some unknown bunch of dudes in Chicago.
Yeah.
And they were so good, it was unbearable.
Really?
And yet nobody is drinking and chatting and smoking, and nobody. They're just up in the background. And not one person in that room was listening to them.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
these guys are amazing.
Whatever. Girls trying to talk to me, the hosts are trying to talk to me, whatever. I'm like, my head's exploding. I want to listen to this thing, you know. And like, what is this for? Why do we do this? Why do these people exist? You know, when they go home at night after having played their guts out, and not one person actually heard what they were doing, and yet if they all of a sudden stopped and put their horns away,
everyone would notice.
Quiet, everybody would notice. Yeah. What does it mean to be playing music? What does it mean to have this thing in your life? You know? And these are the things I thought about when I was doing that carving. That even though I sat down and said, "Okay, I'm going to carve today. Here, let's tee up XX piece of music." After 5 minutes, I found I wasn't listening to it anymore because I was now carving.
Right. You're focused on carving rather than focused on the music.
So it's a really tough question, you know. Some guy sweat blood to either compose that and or perform it.
Right.
And he changed every note and he worked on it. And now none of us hear that stuff.
Yeah.
It just becomes noise in the background.
Yeah.
And you see this most clearly, you'll queue up whatever, BBC, Radio 3 or whatever, or one of the new British ones, or Classic FM or whatever. And the classic music just rolls one after the other. One thing finishes, and before 1 second of blank airtime has come, another one starts. And it's a different mood, different feeling, and it's just, I can't do that. I just heard Beethoven's Fourth Symphony, the final movement, and it jumped to Debussy's La Mer. No.
Give me a minute to absorb it.
Yeah.
Process.
And I found myself falling into that system where I too was treating all this beautiful, incredible music as just background noise and not even hearing it. Whatever, I'm sorry, I talk too much about it, but I don't know. So I don't know what to think about that stuff anymore. You know? It goes to a similar thing. The years I was having exhibitions, I did the Sudaruno album, spent 1 year doing 10 prints, a month each one. carefully choosing it, cutting every line like I'm doing that, printing,
Yeah.
choosing, put them up on the walls in the exhibition. Somebody comes in the gallery and their feet do not even stop. They slowly walk along the gallery wall. There's print number 1. They move across print number 2. Takes maybe 3 or 4 minutes to get to 10 prints. A year of my life sweating over every single line, and their feet didn't even stop
absorbed
when
it
they
in
went
5
back.
minutes.
And then they would come and say, David, beautiful work. Thank you very much. More lovely, lovely, beautiful work. And I'm like, what did you just see? You know. So what does it mean to compose this stuff, to listen to it? You know, I don't know. I'm thinking too much about it. Whatever. I guess I don't know. You know.
Yeah. The Last Known God says, if you ever get the chance, the Jazz Spot intro in Takadano Baba is my favorite music venue in Tokyo. Have you ever heard of it?
No, I'm totally out of that world now. I'm sorry. There are jazz clubs all over town. I know nothing about them. I'm sorry. Usually, mostly, there's such smoky dives now I can't bear. I mean, when I think back to what that place in Chicago must have been like, it must have been clouds one end of the room to the other. You know? And I couldn't spend any time in such an environment now.
Yeah. Dave is chained to Asakusa, according to Jed. I don't know if you're chained here. But
Yeah, I don't know what music means anymore. I know the way we as a culture consume it and use it, and we don't actually listen to the stuff. It's just background noise. It really is background noise. Even the stuff that is carefully created just becomes background noise. You know? So I don't know. But the thing I'm covering right now, is it any different?
Yeah.
People are going to get the print, flip it open, that's nice, close it. What do I expect them to see? What do I expect them to notice? I don't know. I mean, does it matter? I don't know.
Sounds like this is related to the framing question too. I've heard you mention you don't love framing images because then you end up kind of forgetting about them. They become a background image rather than background noise. Yeah.
Want to take us out?
とにかく電車がディレイしてるみたいで、なんか病人が出ちゃったみたいで、2、30分遅れるって言ってました。
パーティーは何？どのようなパーティーありますか？10時の？ないでしょ？
全然問題ない。
OK、じゃあ問題ないですね。OK。
Here come our daily deliveries. おはようございます。2つ。
あ、どうも。Thank you。
おはようございます。はい。最後。はい、どうも。
いつもありがとうございます。Thank you.
This looks like a crane.
It's too big for a crane. What else did we send? Who to? What's this?
I mean, the dancing crane.
I know. Who to?
It's covered.
No, Kai guys bounced back from overseas.
Yeah.
Have we got somebody who's been complaining? Where's my package?
Yeah, probably. I haven't gotten it yet, but. This person has written, and it hadn't been enough time, so I said, please wait a little bit longer. But now I have an answer. Okay.
Well, what's this? Is it a crane or what is it?
I believe it is the dancing
too.
cranes.
No, it's too big. I think.
I'll have to look up its order. I know this person has asked. I just don't want to say the
I
full
usually
name.
cut them down smaller than that so that
Okay.
the box is not easy to bend. You know?
Person order.
What's the name?
Announce on the screen.
Okay, whatever.
That last name.
I don't remember that, and I didn't make this package. That's not my packing.
Huh. Okay.
I think that is a person in the shop who bought one of the larger items at the other end of the shop and asked us to ship it.
Okay. I'll look into it and get in touch.
Okay. U.S.? So there's no customs
Yeah,
problem.
no. Customs.
U.S. or U.K.?
California. U.S.
US, good.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have been in touch with him? He's been asking, where's my
Yes.
package?
Oh, I know what it is. I'll tell you about it after the stream. But yeah.
It's a shop delivery?
I'm pretty sure I know what it is. Oh. But. There you go. Yes, yeah, this is a shop order, quite a few prints, and they tried to deliver a couple of times to him, but they just kept missing each other, and so the post office gave up and sent it to us. And so he knows about it, and it was stuff in the shop that was only in the shop, so he said, or we had to wait for it to come back to us so that we could resend it to him
Okay,
instead.
but we have a postage problem now. Obviously, we
Yeah.
collected postage and we did what we were supposed to do.
Yeah. Yep.
At their end, they didn't receive it, so...
Yeah, so we get back in touch, say, we finally got it back. It took a while to get here.
It's also a good chance for me to inspect a package like this, too. So
See how it survived the trip to around the world and back.
around the world and back. Yeah.
Kaya Nobue. You know what this big box is? Yahoo.
That'll be kids' boxes for Fumi-chan. It's going to go under the shop. That's the last box now. I'm at my weight limit for the...
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I'm allowed 23 kilograms twice. And if I don't take any clothes and stuff, I'll just take a shirt, shorts, and some socks.
Yeah.
Fill everything else up with books, and then just buy another shirt when I get there or something.
Nice.
Well, I'll ask Fumi-chan. In exchange for the books, she can buy me a shirt or something or whatever. Anyway, it must be about time to think about shutting the stream down, I think, here, right? It's now...
Yep, 9:31.
It's Friday morning, is it?
Yep, Friday morning.
So what's the schedule here today? Saturday will be...
More of this?
I'm not sure. I do have another batch of sizing to do, but I was really hoping to get some feedback from the girls on the last batch before I do the next batch, because we changed the system. I put that hot plate in,
Right.
and they haven't tested it yet. So I've been postponing the next sizing batch, but I can no longer postpone anymore because Kanai-san said Monday she wants paper, which means the latest I can do it is Saturday morning, dry it during Saturday, ship it Sunday, she has it Monday.
Yeah.
So I might need to do a sizing tomorrow morning if I can get feedback from the printers on what I did last time.
Right.
If I can't, then it's a day after that. So at the moment, I'm not sure what tomorrow's stream will be. It quite possibly will be more of the same right here, what I'm doing right now, or it could be upstairs again, another cooking session, cooking with Dave. Cooking glue with Dave.
What is the expected arrival date of the Japan Journey subscription print of January in Europe? We've
Well, the first
began
group's
shipping
gone,
them beginning of
so-
last week or even earlier.
Well,
than that.
I've received lots of emails.
Yeah.
People got their prints. So if you were in the early group, the January 1st group, the first 100,
Yeah.
then it's quite possible you have it now.
Yeah.
If you're in the second group, they aren't shipped yet, and they are shipping. Kanai Sanded, she wants to start a new group on Monday, so her other group, it's perhaps going to be showing up here this afternoon.
So I think it also depends heavily on the order in which things were paid rather than the invoice number. We'll see.
But there's people from the second group. Soka. People in the second group are getting some of those prints. I see. Okay.
But the first group was almost all completed anyway. I went through and checked. So okay. Ordered it 20th of December. Right, but
Well, that's irrelevant because they all started together from the start line on January 1st.
yeah,
The 27 means you must be in the second group, right?
yeah. Oh, 20th of December? No, I think that was still safe.
Soka. Yeah.
If you send an email, I can check your account status. Send me one there. Say you are that username. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. And let me know and I'll see where you are. Okay. Should we shut down?
Yeah, signing off, sir.
All right.
I'll be back tomorrow. We'll either be carving here or I'll be sizing upstairs, or who knows, something else will happen and come up. I don't have any idea.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. See you next time.
See you later.